All right, thanks, Brooke. We're here with David Roman. He is one of the baseball players here at Mount San Antonio College. Sophomore, possibly be coming back as a redshirt next year. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I got hurt this season. I got hurt, so I had to fill out a medical redshirt application and send it to the NCAA commissioner. And from there, he's got to overview it and then come back with a decision for me whether or not I could play next year and compete next year, or I might have to go to a different school, 4-year. So.
And if you do have to go to a 4-year, what 4-year would you possibly be going to?
Well, I applied to a few schools. I applied to Cal Poly, and I got accepted to Cal Poly, as well as San Bernardino. So most likely San Bernardino because I made contact with the coach in the fall.
Okay.
So
not a bad school.
It's like a backup plan for me.
Yeah, I feel it. So you play first base, you play a little bit of the outfield. You did sit most of the season on the bench. Tell us about your 5 at-bats that you had this season.
My 5 at-bats, I think they were all pinch hit opportunities. They're all early in the season, so not really much to say about it. Just, you come in end of the game trying to, start something up, get a little rally going. And then from there, it's pretty much it. It's not really, like a starting opportunity. Yeah. It's really limited in what you can do. So.
Well, your team did get out hit this season. They went .264 batting average, while the rest of your competition went .266. Tell us a little something about that. Was it your pitching? Was it just poorly position players? What was it? What's going on there?
Well, this season I feel that we had a really good team. We had a very good foundation. We had the group of guys that were with us were like an all-star caliber group. I think so. Coming in, the coaches would say that this is one of the best programs that we've had in a while. And the reason I can't really give you a straightforward answer as to why we failed to compete, and I can't really tell you that. But it's not pitching. The hitting was really good in the beginning of the season, but just like kind of tapered off towards the end.
And when you talk about all-star caliber, you got guys like Fraley and Cabral, 2 big hitters. They did come in clutch situations, but your overall record really didn't show how well your team was. You guys went 18-8 overall, 9-12 in the conference.
Yeah, baseball is not an individual sport. Yeah. It's a team effort, and just having 2 guys, like you said, Dustin and Fraley, they're spectacular baseball players. Dustin's going to Cal State Bakersfield, or UC Bakersfield, whichever.
Cal State Bakersfield, yeah.
And then Cabral, he's going to get hopefully drafted in the next MLB draft. But yeah, it's not an individual sport. It takes a collective team, hitting, fielding, pitching, throwing to win ball games, and also it takes the coaching staff to help out and to it's like a chess. Baseball is a mental game. Yeah. That's how you gotta approach it. It's not purely physical.
Yeah, well, now with you being injured, for most of the season, what was it like for you being on the bench, just watching your team play, go through those struggles a little bit, not winning every single ball game or most of your ball games, but finishing 500?
Yeah, it was definitely really hard to just sit on the sideline and watch, not perform to what we want. It's hard to watch losses. Every team wants to win. The goal is to win, get in playoffs, win championship. That's always the goal for the team. And for me as a player, it's always about helping the team win is the end result, and that's what we strive to achieve. And it's really hard to just take losses, and like a lot of that has to do with not just me getting injured. A lot of the people in our team got injured, and we had to deal with injuries. Some were minor and they had to play through it, and some were season-ending like mine. So that's what we had to work with.
So you could say, like, you guys weren't at your full potential. You guys weren't 100%. You guys didn't have the bench players you needed. You didn't have enough guys on the field that could produce every single day.
Yeah, I don't want to create excuses, but a lot of ball clubs have injuries and stuff like that. It's adversity that you got to overcome. You got to face and overcome. But we did have those little obstacles that we just couldn't overcome over the season.
there came a point last week of the season. It was do or die whether you guys are going to make it in the playoffs.
Yeah.
How did that week go? How did that last week?
That week was tough. In the beginning of the week, I think we won a couple to give us a sort of a understanding of, hey, this is possible. We can do this, you know. And then slowly we started losing, and then it just was kind of dying out. You know, it's hard to watch, but we got next season, so hopefully we turn things around. We got the same group of guys coming. We're just losing a few key players, and we have a good recruiting program. So, you know, hopefully that doesn't affect us that much.
Now, tell us what your daily routine was, and that since you were injured, what did you do to prepare for games or practices?
Well, since I was injured, mostly I'd show up to practice. I'd help out with drills that I could. I couldn't really throw. I had an elbow injury, so I couldn't really throw or hit. But I just, you know, set up balls maybe, and for games, just help out the coaches, help out the players, you know, with the stuff that they needed. And you know, you still got to be an active player when you're inactive.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. You got to show that you want to be there, and you know, I did want to be there. I didn't want to be hurt. It's just an unfortunate event that happened to me, and not just me. A lot of the players had to go through the same thing. I wasn't alone in the recovering process. We were all in the training room, getting treatment for our injuries.
So going back to the team, which guy do you think? Who would you say was most reliable, and then also give us who you think was also the funniest guy, you know, just guys who built some of that camaraderie, you know.
Okay, the most reliable in terms of baseball, I'm just gonna stick with the statistics. I'd probably say is Dustin Fairley most reliable. He's always he's a very competitive player. He plays center field, and when there's a ball hit to him, and it doesn't even look catchable, he makes the impossible possible. So I like to watch him play. He's one of the most reliable, not the most reliable. A lot of the players are very good players too, and I don't want to not give them credit for their contributions because I know they work hard for it. The funniest player who made me laugh the most is probably Austin Cypress. I like that guy. He's a funny dude. One of my friends. He's a really funny guy. He kept the team light. Made us gel. Our camaraderie as a unit was we had very good chemistry.
Good.
Yeah, so
always good for
always good. Yeah.
Now season's over. Tell us what do you look forward to next season if you possibly come back? Who do you think is gonna produce next season? Who do you think is gonna come up big?
Well, next season I look forward to playing. Hopefully,
Yeah.
if everything works out right. Who's gonna come up big? I think our third baseman Esteban Ortega. He's a really good baseball player. It was his freshman year this year. He has a lot of potential, and he's very good. Like I just said, he's a very good baseball player. And I see a whole bunch of growth in him, and he's already working to get improved in the off season right now. So, yeah, that's just that person. But as a whole, I expect great things for us next year.
Well, let's go back to a little bit about you. You're a business major. Well, what do you plan to do with that in the future?
Well, hopefully, all of us baseball players, our dreams are to become a Major League Baseball player.
Yeah.
But the reality is it's a slim chance. So with my business degree, what I want to do is I want to be a top level, man in a business. I either want to be an entrepreneur, own my own business and run things, or be a CEO, CFO, something like that in the business world.
Well, that does it here for us. Thank you, David. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to send it back to you, Brooks.
Thank you, Nick. And that was a fantastic interview with our fellow Mountie.
Yes, thank you.
All right, well, we want to continue our discussion with sports that are in full effect professionally. And the NHL Finals for the Stanley Cup are going to be starting. And who do you have winning?
Well, this is a tough one. At the beginning of the playoffs, I had the Ducks going away. Not just because they're my favorite team, but they were probably one of the most all around great teams. They had the size, they had the speed, they had the defense, they had the goaltender. But coming into the Western Conference Finals, the Blackhawks, it kind of got challenged a little bit. They got challenged in the semifinals against Calgary, but their defense really got challenged in the Western Conference Finals with the Blackhawks, who eventually won in 7 games. Thing with the Blackhawks is they know how to work around your defense. They have guys they have playmakers that are always changing their not changing, but they're always fixing their game's play and moving it around yours. They had guys like Jonathan Taves, who always comes out of nowhere. He reads the defense, he sits on one side, sits, and then comes back around and ends up finding an open hole and being open to score. Then you got the New York Rangers, who have one of the great best goalies right now in Henrik Lundqvist. He's very unstoppable. He's hard to score on, but it took them 7 games as well to reach the Stanley Cup Finals. So this one is going to be a little bit of a toss-up. I think the Blackhawks, as much as I don't want to say it, I think they're gonna win, just because of Jonathan Taves, their playmaker. Then they also got Marian Hossa, who is just another outstanding player. I think they're gonna win it, but it's gonna be another 70 games for them. It's gonna be a back and forth series. Blackhawks though will pull it out in 7 games.
Wow, okay. From the games that I did see, that the Blackhawks they fight. They really like to fight.
Oh yeah,
in hockey.
Oh yeah,
they're very physical. They're fast and they hit.
Oh yeah,
that's the love of the game.
And that series was actually a very physical game. I think the Ducks out-hit the Blackhawks, I think, by like maybe 20, 30.
Wow.
But their strength and their condition of the Blackhawks, they just were able to battle it out and ultimately get the series win.
All right.
And thank you for joining us. I'm Brooke Barber.
Robert Deanda.
Nick Escalera.
We'll see you next time.